Right. Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, who the world called God. Bahashem means in the name of Yahweh Shai, who the world called Jesus Christ, right? So, to this video, this live right here, we're finna get into basically going into the history of the Greeks in the Bible, right? And it's very important to know the history of the Greeks in the Bible, and that's why it's so important to have this book right here. If you don't know, it's called the Apocrypha. Mine kind of beating up. It's called the Apocrypha, and it says Authorized King James Version. Apocrypha just means hidden books. Now it's 14 books in the Apocrypha that was taken out the Bible by a man named Martin Luther. Not Martin Luther King, but a man named Martin Luther, because he said he felt like it didn't fit the Bible. Now, when you get into the Apocrypha, you get into First Maccabees and Second Maccabees, but we're gonna get First Maccabees chapter 1, mainly getting into what the Greeks done to our people, because a lot of our people are proud Greeks. They get into these fraternities and sororities. They are proud Greeks, man. They say they Greek. They, you know what I'm saying? They rep their fraternity and sorority, to the best of their ability. But we got to really get into this thing, because we actually taught in school that the Greeks were such good people. We always learn about the history of the Greeks. You know what I'm saying? How they were such amazing people, but the Bible says differently. And this is why you need and this is how you know the Apocrypha is part of the Bible, because when you get into the Bible, right, the Holy Bible, without the Apocrypha in it, you have all our captivities in this Bible, but there's one captivity that's missing, that's not in your regular King James Version Bible, and that's the Greek. That's the Greek captivity. The Grecian captivity, that captivity is missing. So where do you find out about the Grecian captivity at? In the Apocrypha, which is part of the Bible. This is where you find the captivity of the Greeks, or the history of the Greeks in the scriptures, man. And it'll make more sense when you read about this. It'll make more sense when Paul says there's no difference between the Jew nor Greek. You'll understand who he's writing to, because you had our people literally living like the Greeks. That's why when they get into these fraternities and sororities, they have to do a lot. That's why they don't speak on a lot of things they do when they get into these fraternities and sororities. They don't speak on it, because most of their stuff they do revolves around what the Greeks actually did. The Greeks were nasty people, man. You know what I'm saying? The Greeks were very, very, they were so-called white people. Very, very disgusting people, man. And it's going to tell you how wicked they was and how they treated you, man, because when you get into when you say that you Greek, man, you pledge Greek, our people love, having a fraternity and sorority on their shirts, on their hats, have a tag on their car to let you know they pledge. You know what I'm saying? Our people rep that proudly, man. But you're going to see, I'm going to show you in the Bible why you shouldn't rep that, man. You shouldn't rep being no Greek, because once you figure out how these people treated your people, you shouldn't want to do it, man. Because these people straight dogged your people out, man. And the history gonna show you when I'm finna read in First Maccabees. We're finna get into this thing. You also can get, if you don't got the Apocrypha, it's a KJVA app. KJVA as an Apple app, right? And it got the Apocrypha in it. So you don't have to buy it. It's called the KJVA. Hold up, let me show y'all. Let me show you what the app look like. I don't know if I can let me show you what the app look like. So you will know, like, so you can go type the app in. It's free on the App Store. Type that thing in, and it automatically had the Apocrypha on it. See, KJV Bible with Apocrypha. So it show you right there that the Apocrypha it was already in the Bible, but it was taken out. So we're gonna get into this thing, man. We're finna get into the Greeks and how they was living and how they was moving and how they treated us as a people, we are the Israelites according to the Bible, if you did it right. So we're finna start with chapter 1, get this thing rolling.
Can you see the comment I put on the can you see comments pop up?
Oh yeah. I see him now. I was looking at private, but yeah. Yeah, and that's that, and you gonna see that's a mighty point. She said, Maria say they be so bugged out, they don't care who did what to us. That's true. And you gonna see when you read on, when we get to reading, you gonna see how a lot of our people sold out quick. You know, a lot of our people sold out like they doing now. A lot of our people sold out to the Greek customs, man. You know, they start cooning. That's what a lot of our people do now, man. When they get into these fraternities and sororities, you know what I'm saying? They let people dog them out, let men paddle them. You let another grown man paddle you. You know what I'm saying? This man telling you what to do. You running errands for this man. You getting broke for buying everything for this man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do whatever he say. Man, they beating on you, hitting you with stop signs. You know what I'm saying? All type of madness stuff going on behind closed doors. And they try to tell you that that's of God. We're gonna see what these Greeks did to us, and we're gonna see if it's of God or not. But you got it.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chedum, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
So, slack it real quick. And we learn about they teach us about Alexander. When they say Alexander, he's talking about Alexander the Great. Now, I don't know about y'all, but we learned about Alexander the Great in school. They taught us like he was this mighty, mighty man, but not knowing that he died from syphilis. I think he was sleeping with men, right? He died from a disease from sleeping with men. But they're not gonna tell us that, man. Hey, the Greeks were very disgusting people. Hey, if you look up, pause that, babe, and type in I want to show y'all how nasty these people was, because you gotta think about it. A lot of these sports that we do, we learned that Greeks. You know, football, you know what I'm saying? But they did it naked. They did these sports naked. Wrestling, they did these sports naked. Hold up, let me see. They did these sports naked, man. They laid with animals. If you look up images of these Greeks, man, they laid with animals. You type in
Just tell me what to type in, baby.
Greek sports statues naked. See what come up. Or wrestling naked. You know what I'm saying? They did everything naked. Look at that. Look at that picture right there.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Okay.
Look at that one right there. Click on the other wrestling picture right there. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? These are the Greeks. All these modern day sports that we do, they started it in wickedness mostly. You know what I'm saying? They changed. I don't say they started it, but they changed it to wickedness by doing it naked. They was nasty people, man. I type in look at them. Look at the pictures, man. They have statues of them being naked. No clothes on. Hold up. Type in you were some disgusting people, man. I gotta get this one. Type in Greek laying with goat statue. It get wild like that, bro. Like these people were nasty, man. You know, and you should never be wanting to be like these people, man, or taking pride in being like these people, bro. Go to images. Go to images. Look at that. Click on that second one. Yeah. Look at that. Like, bro, come on, bro. See if you can you zoom? Huh? Like, bro, come on, bro. But these are the Alexander the Great. They teach us about these in school, man. They got Greek mythology. They teach us about the Greeks' history being so fantastic. You got Hercules. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. They was literally laying with animals, bro. The Greeks. And you gonna see how nasty, how they treated our people, man. How they treated our people, man. So-called white people, man. Remember, during the Dark Ages, we had to teach them how to do stuff.
That. Oh my gosh, that is so sick.
Sick. But you can start, but I just want to show them, just show this what we finna get into. Bestiality.
First Maccabees chapter 1. So like that, Satan. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, came out of the land of Chedum, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries and nations and kings, who became tributaries unto him. And after all these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die.
He finna die, and I'll tell you, I just told y'all, if you look into it, you'll see why he died. We got it.
Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years, and then died, and his servants bare rule every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so did their sons after them many years, and evils multiplied on the earth. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, the water bay, surnamed Ephanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen. Wow. That are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So the
Hold about that.
them well.
You can get 12.
So this device pleased them well.
See that? And this is history. This what we're reading right now is history. We get into this thing, man. It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men, which are coons. These are coons, man. You always have coons throughout history, man. These are wicked men. And they persuaded our people, saying, let's go make a covenant with the heathen. So they're trying to leave their own people to go make a covenant with the heathen, man. They go make a covenant with the Greeks and be Greeks. So when you read that and you think about it, like, okay, Paul, when Paul said he write his letter to the Greeks and the Gentiles, you will see that he's talking here. When you get into the context, he's talking about our people, because our people had left the ways of their God and start following the customs of the Greeks. Like today's time, in today's time, our people, don't keep the Sabbath no more. They don't wear their fringes. But they saying they Greek. They don't know their nationality. They saying they Black African American, but they proud to be a Greek though. I'm talking about they be ripping hard, bro. Got the Leatherman jacket with they sign on it, they throw the signals up. You got grown men barking like dogs with their tongue out. You got grown women talking about ski wee, ski wee, with they pinky out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's spiritual, like all of it. But type in Black fraternities and sororities. I want y'all to see how hard our people go hard for this, man. And then pictures. It's crazy. Like when you read, it's like, dang, our people really go to image. Wait, see if images come up. Like our people literally made a covenant with these folks, man. Look. because they give you benefits. You get a better job if you pledge. You get more money if you pledge. You know what I'm saying? You get more connections if you pledge. That's what our people taught, man. Our people go hard for this. I'm talking about you have 65-year-old men and women still repping their fraternity and sorority. Like, bro, relax. You know you're too old for that.
Mm-mm-mm.
Let me get this image to show you. You see the image? You see that? Yeah, that's what I want to find. Look at that. And most of them signs, them signals, them hand signals that they throw up goes back to the Illuminati. Because the Illuminati and the elites, they throw up that same hand signals that they throw up in these fraternities. They all them hand signals got a meaning to them. If people didn't know, those hand signals that people throw up, those hand signals got a meaning. They got meanings to them. You'll catch celebrities throwing them up all the time. The devil horn, this, you got they throw that through the eye like this, they throw the diamond up. You will catch celebrities doing them all the time. Like these are hold on, let me get this. Give me well now you can go back to that.
Joyce, what I was reading?
Hold on, let me see. I might well get this first. I know I was getting this, but let me get this first. Before you get that, I want you to pull I'll send it to you so you can probably pull it up on the screen. Wait, this is what I want. Get give me 2 Maccabees 4:15. Matter of fact, I'm finna send you the picture. Finna send you the picture, and Lord, whether you can post it.
Okay.
Yeah, bring it out. Because a lot of our people, it ain't nothing new under the sun. It's nothing new under the sun, man. Yeah, and the Greeks are pushed. Man, I'm telling you, these fraternities and sororities are pushed heavy at HBCUs, man. Literally, they push heavy at HBCUs. PWIs, I mean, they don't push even the so-called white people that are in these fraternities. They don't be going hard like that, like our people do, bro. Our people literally lose. They get it tatted, bro. They get their fraternity tatted on their arms, bro. Get it burnt on their skin, bro. But I sent you the picture. Let me
I got it, my love.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's sent and when we get into the history, when we finna get into right now, when it's coming up, you gonna see like, dang, bro, the Greeks did us dirty. It ain't no way. If you care and love your people, man, ain't no way you finna be you won't even let that come out your mouth that you a Greek or that you love the Greeks. I love my fraternity. You won't even let that come out your mouth once you figure out how these Greeks treated your people, man. How these Greeks done came in your, bro. Oh yeah, they go crazy. My real sister at TSU when I was in school said they was gonna fight you if you sat on their bench. They be ready to die and fight about this. Yeah, they'll try to fight you if you sit on their bench, man. Hey man, them boys they'll try to fight you if they scrolling, right? Whatever they call it, scrolling, dancing, and you they don't walk between them scrolling. They gonna try to fight you. You know what I'm saying? Our people take that, go hard for that, but they don't want to go hard for the words of God, or the Most High God. They don't want to go hard. They don't want to go hard for keeping these commandments, but they'll go hard for, the so-called white man's customs. See that? That's 2 Maccabees 4:15. Look, that's how you know it's talking about our people. It said they ignored the honor of their fathers and sought after the glory of the Grecians most of all. So that's what our people doing. Our people right now is ignoring our nationality being Israelites and what David did, what King Solomon did, what Samson did, what Samuel did, what the Maccabees brothers did, what Yahushua did. Our people are ignoring what Judith did, what Esther did, you know what I'm saying, what Sarah did. We are ignoring those people, which are our forefathers, like the scripture said. Now we trying to seek out the glory of the Grecians. We want to do what the Grecians do. We want to act like the Grecians. That's why a lot of our brothers and sisters that in these fraternities and sororities, they got demons on them, bro. They got spirits on them. It was one time on campus, right? It was one time on campus like 2 or 3 years ago. At ASU, it was a time where somebody had made like a fake Twitter account. Well, yeah, they want a fake Twitter account, but they made like a Twitter account undercover Twitter account, right? And they were just going exposing all these brothers in these that were pledging. You know what I'm saying? That was in these fraternities. Wait, yeah, fraternity. Fraternities boys, ain't it?
Come on, Lord. Come
Yeah,
on.
there was in these fraternities, right? And they were just exposing them all the stuff that they tried to do to them at parties. They were trying to, take advantage of them, beating on them, they was exposing them, man, exposing all the brothers, putting their face on Twitter. Yeah, other women putting their 2 cents in. Yeah, he did do that. He did that to me too. He tried to do that to me. He tried to pull my pants down too. He tried to get me drunk. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these brothers and sisters got spirits on them because they follow in the custom of the Greeks, man. When you join these fraternities and sororities, it comes with spirits, man. You are literally giving your all. Like, you literally say an oath that you're going to give your all to this fraternity. Now, how can you give your all to the Most High God and give your all to a fraternity and sorority?
Precept.
Bring it out.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, and verse 24. And
Bring
it
it out.
reads, "No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve Yahweh and Mammon."
Right. So you can't serve the Most High God and mammon, materialistic things or things outside the Most High. You can't serve both. And they'll fool you to think that it's so-called Christian based. It's Christian based. It revolves around the Most High. It's not true. Think about it. If you in these fraternities and sororities, or you think about joining, think about it. How much time are you putting into the Most High God when you really in one? Are you really keeping what the Bible say? Because if you wouldn't be letting you wouldn't be getting beat on, punched on, slapped on, spit on. If it was of the Most High God. Because where is that at in the Bible that you can get spit on? Where is it at in the Bible that a man can punch you in your stomach, blindfold you, take you out somewhere you never been before, and beat on you with a paddle when you butt naked? Where is that in the Bible? If this revolves around Christian base, you know what I'm saying? Where's that? Where's that in the Bible? You have some of these sisters. They get excuse my language. They get ran through. They have to do certain things to get in these sororities, man. They not gonna speak on. They're gonna take it to their grave. And it's the same thing that goes. This is how you know it's they doing the custom of the Greeks, because it goes back to Hollywood. It goes back to Hollywood. These folks in Hollywood gotta do the same thing. That's why a lot of these entertainers or celebrities, most of them done plays. A lot of them are in these fraternities and sororities still, because it links together. It links together, man. And they gotta do the same thing in Hollywood. They gotta do certain rituals, and certain rituals they gotta do in these fraternities and sororities. It's it's the same connections, man. And you will see the history of the Greeks, and you will see how it link up with what brothers and sisters doing now. Like, I done seen videos like brothers passing, they laying on their back beside each other, they passing egg yolk. I want to show that. Matter of fact, I want to show that. Let me show that. Let me show that. I don't know if I'll be able to find. Oh, here you go right here. I'm finna send it to you. I want you to play it. And this is disgusting though. Ain't gonna count. But I sent it to you. You get it?
Pamela.
Yeah, it's Hollywood College Edition, man. It's Hollywood College Edition. Literally, Hollywood College Edition. Same thing, but only difference is you on the college campus. And while now you gotta think about it. If it's of the Most High God, why you can't speak on it? Why you can't tell people your experience during your time and you getting in? Why you can't speak on it? The Lord said, "Be a light." You're supposed to be happy to speak on something if it's of the Lord, but you can't speak on it because it's not of the Lord. It's not of the Lord, bro. Look at this. Check this out. These are what the so-called Greeks was doing in ancient times. Just past them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's madness, man. That's madness. That's madness. That's insane. What he said.
People wonder why you have laws against hazing. We weren't supposed to get down with all this, which is why I left the line. Thanks, cuz, for your sacrifice. I'm sorry, hope you don't lose your letters, but people have to know what's still going on. What happened to my boy just wasn't right. The original footage, right from old school's tape with no added effects. Look at www.pledgetofrat.com. This is only one scene. The rest is off the chain. It was supposed to be at the movies in 2014, but the director has been getting blocked at all angles from people in the organization. It should be out in 2015, though. I'm telling everyone, do not pledge until you see this documentary.
Telling you, dog. I literally got brothers that was in these fraternity sororities, bro. They don't know more. And they tell you how it was kind of, it was off, bro. It was off. It's not of the Most High God, man. You could tell the spirit that they have on. It's a very powerful spirit that our brothers and sisters have on them when they get these letters, when they get in, cause a lot of brothers and sisters, they don't care about the history of the Greeks. They don't care about that. They care about the fame. They want everybody to know them. They might have been nobodies, at first in high school, nobody knew them. So they feel like it's an opportunity. I'm in college now, a new start. Let me get these letters. Let me get my name around. Let me go to parties. Everybody that know me. That's what a lot of people think, man. But not knowing that it carries a spirit, man. The Lord, you're gonna get judged for that. The Lord gonna actually judge you for that, man, because you're not repping your true nationality. You repping the Greeks, nasty, stinky Greeks, right? But you get back to the reading, man.
I'm so sorry.
You go back to the reading, though.
What verse we leave off of 12? Come. Verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
So our people literally sold out, basically. What it's saying is our people were literally sold out. They was keeping the commandments at first. Then they decided, well, I want to be a Greek. I want to be a Greek. People see them over there wrestling naked. I want to do what the Greeks doing. It looks fun what they doing. They rolling over there in mud, half naked. They grabbing each other. I want to do that. People sold out, man. It said they forsook the holy covenant. They forsook the Most High God laws and commandments to do what the heathen did, man. That's what happened. That would happen, man. They sold out. So keep going.
Now, when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have dominion of 2 realms. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen and a great navy, and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He turned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar, and the candlestick of light, and all the vessels thereof, and the table of the shewbread, and the pouring vessels, and the veil, and the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crowns, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off.
Let me say something real quick. So for anybody that don't know, Antiochus, he basically, to sum it up, he taking over, right? He taking over almost everybody's stuff. He like a bully right now, Antiochus. He a bully right now, right? So I just want to let y'all know that what he doing right now. He going taking over, taking people's stuff. He big bullying right now. But you got it.
I'm sorry, 23. He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also, he took the hidden treasures which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Therefore, there was great mourning in Israel in every place where they went.
They were.
So that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. The land also was moved for the habitations thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion.
Right. So that's going to be the house of Jacob, man. We sent the house of Jacob, the Israelites. We was covered in confusion, like, dang, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? The beauty of women changed. They ain't had the earrings in no more. The nails did. The perfume. That whatever they had on their face, it was changing, man. You know what I'm saying? Now people looking at like confusion, like, dang, what's going on? This is history right here. What I'm reading to you is history that we're not gonna learn in school. It's in the Bible. You got it.
And spake peaceable. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute into the cities of Judah, who came into Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them. But all was deceit.
Now look at that. They came to us speaking, and this is how you know this is so-called white man. They came to the Greek. They came to us speaking smooth words. Same thing they did to the native Indians. They came to them speaking smooth words, but all was deceit. What's that precept? Their mouth was smoother than butter.
I was just thinking about something like that.
Huh?
I was just thinking about something like that. That's crazy. Psalms 55 and 21.
Bring that out. Precept. Bring that out. You know what I'm saying? They mouth was smoother than butter. And that's how the Greeks was doing, man. That's how the so-called white people got all this stuff they got now, by deceiving people with their tongue. They still do that right now. That's why so many of our people talking about forgive them, love them. All white people not bad, because they be deceiving them with their tongue, man. But war be in their heart. They be thinking, they be 2 steps ahead of you on how to deceive you.
This Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Right. So the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. So he had smooth words, just like it just said in the First Maccabees. He had smooth words. They got smooth words, but war was in his heart the whole time. You thinking that he love you, you thinking that he coming in peace, but the whole time, man, he already got a plan on how to destroy you and overcome you. And that's the same thing that the Greeks did to our people. And you're gonna see how they got our people, you know what I'm saying? They got us slipping, man. And they did us terribly wrong. But you got it.
Con. I got a precept.
Hey, bring that thing out.
This is Proverbs chapter 26 and verse number 23. And it reads, burning lips and a wicked heart are like a potsherd covered with silver dross. He that hateth dissembleth his lips and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be shewed before the whole congregation.
Hey man, verse 25 mean when he speaketh fair, believe him not. Don't believe them. When they say, oh brother, I love you, brother. If you ever need me, I got you. I'm only one call away, brother. Brother, I just know I love you, brother. Brother, if you need to borrow my car, brother, I got you, brother. Brother this, brother man, brother. If he's speaking, you know what I'm saying, speaking fair words, believe it not. And that's why people in this situation right now, because we believe them. We believe them soft-spoken words. We believe them fair words that they spoke upon our people. And the whole time it was 7 abominations in their heart, man. That they might get us with that little smile they always doing. They're always smiling. Like, every time you look at you, they always smiling. And a lot of our people get caught up in that. Like, oh, she's so sweet. She always smiling. Oh, Miss Susan always smiling. I love Miss Susan. Every time she see me, she's smiling. She can't be that bad. The Bible just says 7 abominations. Even Miss Susan, the Bible says 7 abominations in her heart. So you got to watch out for her. You know, you got to watch. Especially, you definitely got to watch out for the older so-called white people, because a lot of them was in that time. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't do nothing to help your people when your great grandma was in segregation. A lot of them lived through that. You know. Yeah, some can't hide their hate, man. Yeah, some try to hide their hate, but you might catch them one time. You might look up one day and they looking at you angry, and then they try to hide it with a smile. Hey, you'll catch them doing it. You be around long enough, you'll catch them doing it. You might be looking at your phone the whole time. They mean mugging you, like they wish you was in slavery. They having thoughts of you in slavery. Then you look up real quick at them, they start smiling. What are you doing? You on your phone? You know what I'm saying? That's how it go, man. But they it's war in their heart. You know what I'm saying? They hate you, man. They hate you with a perpetual hatred.
But did you want me to go to First Maccabees, my love? Go back.
You can get that preset you sent me too.
That's what I just it was just in a different translation.
Oh, con.
Bible too real.
Oh, what last one? Oh, get this one for never trust thy enemy first. This is gonna be the last one. We can go back to it. That's Sirach 12 and
I think it's Sirach 10.
It's 10.
It's either 10 or 12.
12 and 10.
Oh, okay.
12 and 10.
They be throwing the 10 and 12 be confusing me. So, but a way to remember it, Sirach 10 is talking about pride. Hold on. It's Sirach chapter 10. So like in chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith.
Amen. Never trust your enemy. And that's what our people did during the time of the Greeks and times right now. We trust in our enemy and we're making covenants with them. And you're going to see what happens when that happens. We're going to hop back into it.
Verse 30, I'm going to reread it. And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel.
Hold up. And it's so crazy, man. It's so crazy, man. That's crazy, man. This man literally finessed our people, man. And our people are happy saying Greek life. This man, which was a Greek, came peacefully deceiving your people. And he stole the land. He killed a lot of our people, raped a lot of our people, man. It said he destroyed much people of Israel. Now, we the Israelites. We the Israelites. That's why we say we look at our people as foolish when they repping fraternities and sororities and saying they Greeks, because these Grecians came and raped, destroyed your people out the land. You got it,
man. So like it. This word credence, it means faith, belief, or acceptance. But keep that in mind. Trust. And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel.
So our people were literally like, okay, we cool, you know what I'm saying? We believe you. Our people literally, you know what I'm saying, didn't think that they were gonna get stabbed in the back. These are perfect examples in the Bible to never trust the so-called white man. Do not trust your enemies, because when you trust them, things like this happen. You either get raped if you trust him, stuff gets stolen, and people get killed. And that's throughout history if you trust these people. And the Greeks are a perfect example not to trust your oppressor, man, because they came into our city, they destroyed most of our people, man, by the tongue. The tongue is so powerful, man. They deceived our people with their tongue to get them what they needed. But you got it.
Come. And we had taken the spoils of the city. He set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. But the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle.
Well, so they set our cities on fire. They said he set it on fire and poured down the houses. So he poured down, but this is what the Greeks doing to our people now. Because we are the Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. We the Israelites. He poured down our houses, man. He set things on fire, and he put our women into slavery. He used them for slaves. I can't see the screen no more. What happened?
So like you.
It says, but the women and children took they captive. So they took our women. So just think about it like this. They did the same thing in the transatlantic slave trade. They destroyed our cities, bro. They destroyed Jerusalem, destroyed our city. Came in, broke our houses down, and they took our women and children and took them as slaves and possessed the cattle that we had. They came in stealing stuff. The Greeks, this is the real history of the Greeks that they're not going to tell you in school. The Bible, this is in the Bible. The Bible tells you the true history of the Greeks. These people were sick. And it gets worse. It gets worse. But these people were sick. They were sick, man. That's sick. You're destroying the whole village, man, and taking the women and children as slaves.
I got a precept.
Bring it out.
It's Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun.
There's no new thing under the sun. If it happened before, it's happening again. How people sold out before, they sold out this time. You know how people was doing wickedness back then, they doing wickedness now. Dang, the Greeks turned on our people back then. So-called white man gonna turn on us now. You know, it's nothing new under the sun, and you gotta have more respect for yourself, brothers and sisters. If you know what I'm saying, you gotta love your people, man. You can't, you shouldn't want to join an organization. You know, when you get into the history, it's wickedness. You know, these people were murderers and rapists and thieves. You should have more respect for your people to be like, I can't even join that because what they did to my people. I can't even really get into that. I can't even get into it just because how they treated my people. You should love your people, you know, enough to not even join that, bro. Cause you cooning if you in one. You a sellout and you a coon if you in these fraternities and sororities because they treated your people like Dookie. They killed your people, and it gets worse. And if you still want to be in one after this, or you still gonna stay in one after this, shame on you, man. The Lord gonna deal with you. But you got it.
Gone, baby, gone. Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and Yahweh requireth that which is past.
The Lord acquire the things of the past. You know, and the same thing with the Greek captivity, what went on is going to happen right again. How they was burning Bibles, that's going to happen again. How they was taking people captive, that's going to come and happen again. You know, so all this stuff going to happen again, man. Right, and then that's when people going to realize, you know, who these modern day Greeks is, who these modern day Romans is, who the so-called white man really is. They're going to realize that his horns going to show. But I think you start at 33.
Come. Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall, with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. They stored it also with armor and victuals, and when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare.
Hold up. So they basically came in our city and took over. They basically came in Jerusalem and took over. They made it into the Greek land. They made it into a Greek land. They came into our city and took over it. But you got it. You got it.
It's like, I don't know what happened. Hold on. Oh, it's like
You get like
verse. Con. Okay, I'm gonna restart at verse 35. They stored it also with armor and victuals, and when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it.
hold up. So they shed innocent blood, man. Man, what's that precept? And they gotta die. I mean, what's the precept? Uh um dang. Get
How does it go? What is it? What does it say? How does it paraphrase it?
hold up. I think it's Deuteronomy 19. I think it's Deuteronomy 19 and about innocent blood. I know it's in the law. if you shed innocent blood, no. Proverbs 16. Get Proverbs 16. I mean Proverbs 6 and 16 through 19.
This is Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yes, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood.
He said
And
what?
heart that and hands that shed innocent blood.
Now go back to what we just read. The Lord say He hate that. So go back what we just read in First Maccabees.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 35. It's like 37. Thus they shed innocence blood on every
So
side of the sanctuary.
you gotta think about it. They was shedding innocent blood. They was killing people, grandma, bro. Just imagine your grandma getting slaughtered by a so-called white man. Innocent blood. Your little 3-year-old daughter getting snatched up and slaughtered. They was shedding innocent blood. They were just going in the lands, just killing all the Israelites they seen. All the so-called black people that they were seeing. That's what they was doing. Shedding innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary. And they defiled our sanctuary, man. And you're gonna see it's gonna get worse. I want y'all to be picturing this stuff in y'all mind when y'all listening to it. It's not no movie. It's not no fiction. This is actually history that you can look up that's in the Bible about the Greeks. Matter of fact, hold up. You keep going, babe.
Come. Insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning.
So it's the scripture said the land became, to the strangers because all of our people was fleeing out. They was leaving the land to try to save their lives and their children's lives. And it was left to strangers. And they just imagine this. I want y'all to imagine a land full of so-called black people, right? A land full of so-called black people. You got your own city. And another group of people come in and kill your people. Now you have a lot of people fleeing out to hide and save their lives. So when you leave out the city, the group of people come into your city and they start destroying everything. All the things that you had set up that was nice in the city, they're destroying it. They already nasty. They coming in and defiling everything that you had, peeing on everything, peeing on the flowers, doodling all over the concrete. You know what I'm saying? All type of stuff like that. Slaughtering the kids, leaving the kids in the streets, walking over the kids, all type of crazy stuff. That's what they was doing. The Greeks now, these are the Greeks. That our people got the letters on their jacket, be doing a little shuffle with the shoulders, you know what I'm saying? With the whistle, with the little whistle they be blowing. This is the people that they repping right here. But you keep going.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone that should leave his law. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Hold up. Where you was at?
Verse 41.
Verse 41. So they now we just read a precept how it's nothing new under the sun, and the Lord required things of the past. This is going to happen again real soon. The King Antiochus basically wrote a bill to the whole kingdom that everybody should be one people. So everybody going to be under him, under his laws and commandments. And it says everyone should leave his laws. So he basically saying, you had Israelites that was keeping the laws and commandments that we got to keep right now. He's saying basically you gotta stop doing that. If you in his land still, you not doing that. You gonna take off your fringes. You're gonna stop keeping the Sabbath day. You gonna eat pork. You gonna eat shrimp. You're gonna eat what I tell you to eat. That's what he's saying. He's basically taking charge now in our land. He done pushed us out the land. He done came in. These are the Greeks now, the so-called white people. Get us out the land. He done came in. Now he's trying to set rulership. He's trying to take us away from our laws and keeping the commandments of our God. He said in verse 42, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agree according to the commandments of the king. Now you get 43. Now I read it. He said, yeah, many also of the Israelites consented. So a lot of our people was cooned out, was scared. They gave in. They consented to his religion. And they sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. So they were so scared, they sold out. They started sacrificing the idols. That the Lord said, you're not even supposed to sacrifice the idols. They were sacrificing to idols, and they profaned the Sabbath day. They wasn't even keeping the Sabbath no more. They probably was cooking on the Sabbath day, working on the Sabbath day. Because they started keeping the laws of the Greeks. And that's what's going to happen in today's time. It's going to come a time where it's going to be a new world order, and you have to be under the so-called white man. And if you're not going to want to do what he say, he's going to kill you. I ain't trying to jump the broom, but he's going to tell you what happens if you didn't, abide by his laws. But the same thing gonna happen in today's time. Let's see what happens if they don't abide. But you keep going.
Come and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, sacrifice swine's flesh.
Hold up. Now, and unclean beasts. You can reread 47 again. So like reread.
Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
No, this is so wicked, bro. I think this might be the out of all the verses I done read in the Bible. I think 47 may be the wickedest verse, like of the other nation, like the things that because we went through so many slaveries. This is not the only slavery we went through, but this is why I say the Greeks are the worst. Slavery. They did us the worst of all these captivities, because this right here is wicked when you think about it. Now, when we sacrifice idols, it's like when we sacrifice animals, clean animals, it was for the Most High. He took joy in that, of us sacrificing, especially in the Old Testament. We would sacrifice, an animal to the Most High God, right? So they took it further. The Greeks took it further than us, because not only did they try to get us and to destroy us, they tried to destroy the Most High God, because when they want us to sacrifice unclean things, that smell go to the Most High God. So when you sacrificing pork, swine, even though they know we're not supposed to eat pork, when you sacrificing unclean beasts and swine, that smell goes to the Most High God. So how you think the Most High God was feeling when he was smelling pork? How you think the Most High God was feeling when they was sacrificing swine's flesh on his altar in Zion, in Jerusalem? That's disrespectful on a whole nother level, bro. That's disrespectful. They was like, "F that. We already got his people. Let's get to their God now. Let's sacrifice swine's flesh." In verse 45 again, we couldn't even do burnt offerings no more, or sacrifices, or drink offerings. You know what I'm saying? And they said we had to profane the Sabbath day and festival days. So they was trying to get us to, and this they do this in today's time too. They were trying to get us to turn our back on our God, or they were trying to get our God to turn his back on us by making our people do wicked stuff. You know what I'm saying? To make our people do this wicked stuff. And that's what goes on in Hollywood. The so-called white man get all of our brothers and sisters to do all these wicked stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High can turn their back on them. So the Most High can turn his back on them. So they have our brothers and sisters do all crazy stuff in all these organizations. You know what I'm saying? To defile themselves. Same thing in today's time. They had I mean, same thing back then. They had our people defiling themselves into wickedness, man. You know, but you got it.
Verse number 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. Whosoever would not to like you. Whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
You should what?
Die.
So that's that would happen, man. If you just say that you was in the Jerusalem still, and you were like, man, F that. I don't care what he's talking about. I'm finna keep the commandments. I'm not finna eat pork. I'm not finna defile the Sabbath day. I'm finna keep the commandments of the Most High God. And you had a lot of our people get put to death. You had a lot of our people had to be martyrs. You know, they died for something real. So that's a beautiful thing. Don't be scared, you know, because they died. They died for something real, man. You know what I'm saying? And their white robe is waiting on them. But you know, you have a lot of our people that said, "No, I'm not finna do that." But you know, that's how the rules was, and that's how it's gonna be in today's time coming up. When all hell break loose. If you don't be with the new world order, you're gonna get put. They're gonna try to kill you. They're gonna try to torture you. That's how. That's how the same exact thing. It's nothing new under the sun. They was doing the same thing. Hey man, they was like, I'm finna change it. Antiochus was like, I'm finna change the laws. All the Israelites better keep what I'm saying. I better see them defiling the Sabbath day. I better see them sacrificing the idols. If I see them trying to keep their commandments, so they God, they gonna die. That's wicked, man. That's wicked, man. That's the Greeks now. This how the Greeks treat our people. They making us do the opposite of what the Most High God told us to do. They basically spitting in our face, man, and making us disobey our God. That's wicked, man. That's real wicked. Especially when they understand that He's our power source, and they taking it away from us. But you got it.
Verse 51. In the selfsame manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could find for succor.
Just
Now
second.
the 15th day of the month Celsia, in the 145th year, they set up an abomination of desolate, desert, hold on. Now the 15th day.
I really want to hold up real quick. Let me get something at 52. And it said, and so they committed evils in the land. Now you don't know now we seen that the Greeks, some of the stuff that the Greeks was doing, we didn't see all of it, how they was wrestling naked, how they was laying with beasts. Now it said many of our people committed evils in the land. So you don't know what they was doing, man. You don't know what our people was doing or was having to do. They probably was doing so many rituals, man, and sacrifices in the open, man. Like you can only imagine what was going on in Jerusalem, man. Like you can only imagine. But you got it.
And drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could fly for succor. Now the 15th day of the month Calcia, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side.
They building idols all. It's like it, babe. They building idols all in the land, man. Just imagine you seeing all these idols. They probably built up idols of Antiochus. You got Antiochus' face all in the land. Got naked statues, you know what I'm saying, of men in the land. Got a man laying with a beast in the land. These are the idols that they talking about, man. Wickedness. But you got it.
And burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the book of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire.
You what?
Burnt them with fire.
Keep going.
And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death.
So this is going to be a time that's coming too. This happened in the past, it's going to happen again. Hey man, and this how you know that we powerful, man. We are powerful people, and that law that people say is done away with, you know, that's this how you know it's powerful because he was trying to destroy it. And if you get into the book of Eli, it's like you watch the movie The Book of Eli with Denzel Washington. He had the last Bible, and he told you that. I think somebody asked him what the rest of the book said. He said it got destroyed. It got destroyed in the war. If they caught you with one, they took it and burnt it. This is where they get that from. First Maccabees, same as that thing. You know, they was burning Bibles. The book of the law is the Bible. They was literally burning Bibles. That's why the Bible says it's gonna be a famine of the word. People gonna be burning Bibles. And if you get caught with one, you risk you liable to get put to death. And that's wicked. This is what the Greeks was doing, man. The Greeks didn't even want you to read the Bible. But guess what? In these organizations, they say it's Christian based. My organization is Christian based. The Kappas is Christian based. You know what I'm saying? The Q Dogs is Christian based. You know what I'm saying? What's some more of them? The AKAs are Christian based. That's what they tell you. But how's it even going back to how the Greeks was moving, how it was starting? It couldn't be so-called Christian based because they was burning Bibles. And it tells you it tells you in the scriptures they was burning Bibles. But you have so-called in these organizations, they be trying to quote a Bible verse. But the Greeks were trying to burn the Bibles. They wasn't trying to hear no Bible verse. You see what I'm saying? See how backwards that is? But you got it.
Verse 59. We'll start at verse 58. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month to as many as were found in the cities. On the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar which is upon the altar of Yahweh. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit, go ahead.
That's mean. Like that's you had women. You had a lot of our women say, "Man, I'm not down with that. My children, we gonna serve the Lord. My household, men like my household, we gonna serve the Lord." You know, and a lot of our women got, they got put to death for that, for serving the Lord. They hung the babies. Like, bruh, the Greeks, they hung the babies. Verse 61, they hang the infants about their necks. They hanging little kids. Infants. What's the age of an infant?
Anywhere from 0 months to what? 15 months? I don't know.
Bro, our people need to wake up. Our people need to wake up, man. It ain't no way I be affiliated. I wouldn't even be saying I'm a Greek. You won't hear that come out my mouth, Lord willing, that I'm a Greek ever, Lord willing, that I would never want to be saying that, man. That's disrespectful to my people, man. All that people went through from the Greeks, and you gonna turn around and rep the Greeks? Literally, this definitely just like a genocide, bro. This is a genocide of our people. Very disrespectful, man. How they did our people, bro. Where you was at? Oh, you was at 62.
Come. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing.
Right.
Therefore, they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So when then they died, there was very great wrath upon Israel.
Con. You know what I'm saying? But you had a lot of our brothers, a lot of our sisters, they stood tall for this truth. They stood 10 toes for this truth, and they got put to death. You know, but what that precept, it's a good thing to die for the Lord.
I think I know what you're talking about. Precious is the death of the saints.
Yep.
It's in Psalm, I think. I'm not too sure.
Psalms 116-15.
Hey, I was kidding. Con. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 116 and verse 15. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints.
So that's what he's saying. A precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints, man. So when you die for the Lord, man, the Lord see that as being precious, and you're gonna get a reward. The Lord gonna look after you, man, if you die for him. But for the brothers and sisters that sell out and coon, you got a reward, an evil reward coming your way. You know. But I just want to read that, to show y'all how the Greeks did our people. You shouldn't be affiliated or be happy to say you a Greek. You gotta, brother, sister, you gotta hop into First Maccabees, get into that thing, because the story gets good. You know what I'm saying? You have a forefather named Judas Maccabees. He rise up. I ain't gonna say too much, but it's a good book, man. It's a history, man. It's just to show you how the Greeks treated us, man. How the so-called white people did us. And my point of bringing this video out is to bring awareness to our people that may not know about the Greeks, that may not know about the history, that may be wanting to pledge or maybe thinking about coming out. And this should be a push for you not to join. And it should be a push for you to come out of fraternity or sorority if you in one and if you love your people. Now, if you don't love your people, you're gonna turn a blind eye to this and continue to do what you're doing. Now, if you do love your people, you're going to be like, nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't finna join that, bro. That's off. But if you love the Most High, most importantly, you wouldn't do it. Why? Because they disrespect the Most High by sacrificing swine's flesh to the altar. They disrespected him. And if you love the Most High, you wouldn't do it. Your love for the Most High shall overpass your fleshly desires of getting a Leatherman jacket with a letter on it. Or getting benefits from jobs. You know what I'm saying? Or getting connections because you was in a fraternity or sorority. The love of the Most High shall overpass that. That's vain. All the other stuff is vain. You trying to get pictures. You know what I'm saying? You trying to go to parties to be seen by men. People know you, dapping you up that you don't even know. That's vain. You gotta have more respect for yourself, King. But I think that was it.
Mm-hmm.
You said what?
Con.
So that was it going into that. Lord, we might do a part 2 if it being the Most High will. But when to get in, just want to break that thing down through the spirit, just to let our people think. You know what I'm saying? Just letting you know the things that went on. So now you know some of the history of the Greeks, and you can look more into it. Look more into this thing. Now you know some of the history of the Greeks and how they was moving and how they did your people. So with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashemi Hawashah. Say Shalom.